I, like many other people this summer, have spent a lot of time playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and once again, like many other people this summer, I have been absolutely blown away by the sheer scale of this game. On top of having Breath of the Wild's already massive world overhauled for this game, they added an entire underworld for you to explore, plus filled the sky with floating islands. It really cannot be overstated how massive and expansive this game is. So yeah, today I want to talk about the dark enclosed spaces. Hello, good evening, I am Joseph Filmography, and if you can hear the sounds of the rain, I'm sorry, but it's hurricane season, and you're just gonna have to live with that. One other thing that Tears of the Kingdom has a massive emphasis on is caves. There's like 200 probably caves scattered around the overworld, and every single one has actual incentives to explore it. See, every cave is guaranteed to have a bubble frog, which will give you a bubble gem, which are used for something. I haven't found all of them yet, so I don't know what happens when I do, but I'm working on it. And the caves are mostly the same visually, with, you know, gray cliffs and ceilings and moss and mushrooms on the floor and whatnot, but each area sort of has its own visual diversity to what the caves will look like. But the thing that really made me want to make this video is one particular cave I found while I was exploring the mountainous region. See, I was running around when I found this little spring, and this little spring had a little creek, so I followed the little creek into a little cave. And I ran around and explored this little cave, grabbed a couple of things, but nothing particularly out of the ordinary. But eventually I came to this sort of central room of the cave, and I noticed something odd. There was a boulder with some water behind it. So of course I move the boulder, and I duck under and start exploring whatever might be hiding here. There's just something magical about this little place, and it reminded me of some areas I've found in some other games, so today I thought it would be fun to take a look at some magic caves in video games. Starting with this one, of course. What I find so interesting about this cave is the fact that, other than having every kind of mushroom and one of these truffles, which is very rare, there's really nothing to it. It's just kind of a shiny little place. It doesn't have any of its own unique music, it's just here. It's just a shiny little place that you may or may not find by doing a side quest, and that's about it. Come back when you need more mushrooms, and other than that, have a nice day. And that's weird to me, because this is a really freaking cool place. You don't see anything like this anywhere else in the map as far as I know. So it's really cool to me that they bothered making this place at all, because it feels like an idea that just would have been scrapped for time. When I heard that there was a side quest you could do to find this game, I was really interested to see if that was going to reveal some grander purpose for this place. And I was really pleasantly surprised that it didn't at all. It's literally still just a cool little cave that they put in because they thought it would be neat. It's probably my favorite spot in the game to just come and look at. It's neat to just kind of hang out here. Once you've picked all the mushrooms, it's not like you can do anything else anyways. Now the next little spot I want to talk about, still in The Legend of Zelda, is from Majora's Mask, because I will take absolutely every excuse to talk about this game except for actually making the Majora's Mask video. Don't worry, it's coming someday. Now the world in this game is filled with tiny little holes that you can fall into while you're exploring. Most of them, like Tears of the Kingdom's caves, share the same general design. Some of them will have little puddles, which is fun, but the one I'd particularly like to talk about today is one directly north of Clock Town. This hole right here has always stood out to me with all of its waterfalls and shiny atmosphere. It's very bright in here, much like our mushroom cave in Tears of the Kingdom. Caves with waterfalls will typically signify something important in these games, such as Zora's Domain or the fairy fountains. But this one is just kinda here. There is a little side quest to do with these gossip stones, but other than that, this cave, much like Tears of the Kingdoms, is just here for fun. It's a spot I'm sure most players probably won't come to more than once, but I really like stopping by here every now and again and just kind of taking in the atmosphere. Now, the next cave is from the game Journey, and this is your spoiler warning because I will be showing the final chapter of the game in this video. Now, Journey's most prominent visual theme comes from the infinite desert, where most of the game takes place. The vast expanse of it all, it's just so enthralling. But that's not where the entire game takes place. The final chapter of Journey, where you actually get to climb the mountain you've been pushing towards for the entire game, is very cold and oppressive, with the mountain being covered in snow, and snow being something that frankly you just aren't ready for yet. Whereas the rest of the game gives you a lot of freedom with your movement and exploration, this section brings everything down to its most basic level, with you having to walk everywhere, dodging strong wind gusts, and just trying to cling to what little warmth you have left. But after slowly trudging along a windy cliff in your push up the mountain, you'll come across a tiny little room tucked away in the wall. It's got some of the little stone grave markers you've been seeing around the entire game, and what seems to be a lamp. And if you stand here and chirp at the lamp, the entire room will light up. You can find some of your little cloth buddies here, and if you chirp at them, they'll give you a boost up to a little secret. And that's literally all there is to this room. Just some graves, a lamp, some cloth, and you. But this is the last warm spot in the game. One final moment of comfort before you have to push on through the blizzard and continue your journey up the mountain. Even if you leave and come back, the lantern won't light back up. Your warmth has died out, and you have to push on. And I feel like that's what makes this room so special. It's a very brief moment of comfort before you're launched back into the reality of your journey. The fact that you still have a long way to go and very little strength left to get there. So take your time, enjoy the comfort of this little room, the warmth, the music, because as soon as you leave, all of that is gone. Now, the final cave I want to talk about is very different from all of the others, because all of the games I've mentioned so far are single-player games. In all three of these examples, the caves serve no major story significance, but they serve as a nice little comforting moment as you continue on your journey. The last example I want to talk about is not like that at all, because the last example is from a multiplayer map in Halo Reach. Halo's multiplayer maps are filled with all sorts of interesting caves and spots, so much so that I could make an entire video just on that someday. But today we're specifically talking about one multiplayer map with a very special place in my heart: Forge World. For those who don't know, Halo has a game mode called Forge where you can build your own maps that you can play on with your friends and even share publicly for other people to use. And Halo Reach's Forge World is a very unique map because it is massive. It's a blank enough canvas that you can make some very unique and creative maps on Forge World, but it's not so blank that it's just a flat plane and doesn't give you anywhere to start. Because my buddies and I, we're idiots. We're not good at making this stuff. So having landscape already built in for us to start with is a huge help. And the reason I bring up Forge World here is because Forge World has many caves. But there's one specific cave that I want to talk about today. Hidden away on the side of Blood Gulch is a little cave with a little pool of water in it, And that's really it. There's no natural light in here, so the only light is the reflections of the water shining on the walls, and it creates a really cool atmosphere. The other caves in this video, regardless of how small their purpose may be, have some purpose made by the developers. That's what makes this cave stand out. This cave only exists for you to give it purpose. You can build your base in here. You can make the objective in here. You can have deadly battles happen in this cave or have it be a safe zone on the map. I like stopping in here every now and again and just seeing what I can make out of it. Because when the purpose of this cave is entirely up to the player, the possibilities for what you can use it for become essentially limitless. So I hope you've enjoyed this little journey through some neat and largely pointless areas that I found in video games. If you have any magic caves that you love, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts so I can go explore them myself. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, I don't know, would be kind of neat if you did that, I think. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.